Hello again. Here we are at IKC Balancathon headquarters in Switzerland. We've taken the candle back from Western Canada. They've still got another hour that they'll be balancing. And we are entering into the UTC -8 and the UTC -9 time zones. So if we look at that, I'm just going to set the candle over. Since we don't have local events, I will be doing that 2-hour period with you. We have areas in the UTC -8 time zone as Pitcairn, Adamstown, and Anchorage in Alaska. And in the UTC -9, we have French Polynesia, Rikitea, and certain areas of the US. So, yes, we're getting close to the end of this amazing 24-plus hour worldwide energy balance. Everybody's gotten hyped up and put in their heart energy into healing each other, healing themselves, healing the planet, healing the animals. So this has been a wonderful experience for me here at headquarters. I've gotten some messages and I wanted to read those for you. Let's see, I had one on Facebook. I have a new cell phone, so I'm going to see if I'm able to open up my Facebook. Let's see, so I need to go. Not always easy to change your cell phone. I've got Messenger there, but I don't see the Facebook. Hold on a second. Maybe I'm just not looking for the right color. There it is. Oh, yes, it doesn't know me. So let me try and do it on the computer. I haven't installed all my information on it yet. So let's see if I can get this message up on the computer. So, oops, what did I do? I did something. Let's go back to Robin. No, then perhaps it's on the groups. This is too bad. I'm not going to be able to read that to people. Got a message from Ireland, from Jackie in Ireland, and I wanted to share that with you, but I don't seem to be able to figure out how to go onto my group yet. No, I don't want to do that. Okay, so. Nope, I don't see it to be able to share with you. So anyway, it was a very nice note saying that she was on her way and that she had hooked into some of the live streaming and that she really had a great time seeing all the different places and thanked everyone for their participation. That's kind of just a summary of what she said. She said it much better than I summarized it, but let's see. Here I have a message from Helena in the UK. And she said, this is something so beautiful, so meaningful on so many levels, that she realized the full impact of this simple idea, which has become something big and has done so much good. So she says, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I had a wonderful day with just a few people, most of whom had almost none or absolutely no experience of Touch for Health, and they loved it. So she's sending us lots of love. Thank you, Helena. And let's see what else I have. So I read you Dalila's already and Henry's. And here we have Tomohito Taminato, who is in Ethiopia. We got in touch pretty late in the process of organizing this event. And he sent me some pictures. Let me just open that up. Yes. So I have some pictures of them balancing in Ethiopia. It says, "Dear Robin, experiences. Thank you very much for giving us this wonderful experience of Balancathon 2018. My friends and I did 14 muscle dancing in Ethiopia. It was very exciting for us." And I attached some pictures of our activity. Thank you again. So thank you to Taminato. Malene in, Malene in Norway sent a message. "Thank you to everyone for all you have shared. It has been so much fun to watch the live streaming from place to place." She sent me 2 pictures. She had a gathering of family and friends, and they made heart-shaped waffles. And so she said, "With good help from my little helper, from her child, we did also celebrate and got to balance our family and friends all together. Thanks to all." And she put a little heart there. We have Tony Lilly. Tony Lilly is the president of IKC, the International Kinesiology College, and she's on a ship around the Hawaiian Islands. And she said, "Hi all, I'm in Hawaii, one of the last places to experience heart time on September 29th. It's been wonderful to read the messages and feel the love. Thank you, Robin, for your love for TFH and for Touch for Health and the Touch for Health family. Thanks to everyone who has participated. Regards, Tony." We have Pablo in Spain, who says, "Hello to everybody from Spain. It has been a great journey, sharing with friends the heart energy. Thanks to Robin and her team for making this possible. Thanks to everyone for being part of this great family called Touch for Health, from the deepest part of our heart." And he sent a little picture with his hands in the form of a heart. So those are the messages I've been getting lately since we last talked. And so here we are. Yeah, it's ready to get some water. And then we're going to do a full balance together. If that's okay with you, I'd like to invite you to share and give me a balance all together in this wonderful IKC Balancathon. I'm going to get some water. I'll be right back. So please feel free also to get up, get some water, or have a bathroom break, and be right with you. Okay, so I have my water glass, give my nose a blow, and we're ready to balance me. So we're going to go through the whole process. I'm going to already talk about the theme that I would like to share with you tonight. Yeah, I have to start back to work on Monday after 3.5 weeks of a wonderful vacation. And as much as I love going to work and meeting people, as much as I have a small little apprehension inside of me that says, it's going to be busy again. I'm also teaching a lot this year, so there's a lot of activities there. So I feel a little bit under stress in terms of the work starting back up again, and a little bit of nostalgia of leaving vacation. So I'm kind of in a transition zone where I don't feel that comfortable. So if you would like to, I'd like to invite you to accompany me in a Touch for Health balance. So let's do our pre-checks. Let's drink a little bit of water. That does feel good. Yeah, and having a cold doesn't make it easy to go back to work, does it? So I've had some water, and now I'm going to do those pre-check switching points. So one hand on my belly button, and with the other hand, I'm going to massage these points. And remember to breathe. I'm going to switch hands. Excuse me. And still do those points. Okay, now I'm going to massage the points that are underneath my collarbones. Come to the center and down. I'm going to do these ones. These are pretty sensitive tonight, especially on this left-hand side. Switch hands. So whenever we accompany somebody in Touch for Health, we also do a lot of the pre-checks. We do all the pre-checks with them and a lot of the other movements as well. So that we're kind of a team working together. And now I'm going to massage my tailbone. One hand on my belly button always. Switch hands. Keep massaging the tailbone. Yeah, feels good. And now we're going to run up the conception vessel meridian, the central vessel meridian, so that energy gets up to our brain, help us think, help us imagine other solutions. And since I'm feeling a little bit tired, I think I want to just do a little bit of cross crawl while I'm sitting down. Because tired and putting it into motion and those type of things are what I'm feeling about this thing. I'm going to go back behind my legs. You can't really see it on the camera, but I'm putting one leg behind the other and touching it with the opposite hand. And we'll finish up here. Yeah. Already feels good. Okay, so I'm going to go into goal setting, and let's think about this. So, yeah, it's like a hesitation, a certain heaviness, and I love my work, so this doesn't correspond with, what I feel once I'll get started. It's kind of the first step type phenomena. So I would like to live that otherwise. I would like that to be easier, not as heavy, how can I say it? With a sense of obligation. So I would like to be able to joyfully go back to my office and discover all the amazing things that my clients bring into the office with me. So it's a question of getting moving, taking the first step, joyfully taking the first step towards new discoveries. So I joyfully take the first step towards new discoveries in my work environment. Yeah. So I think I'm going to write that down. So I joyfully take the first step towards new experiences in my work environment. So it's personal, I've got the I in there. It's in the present tense, so it's in the present moments. I joyfully take. We've got an adverb in there that says how I'm going to take it, not with heaviness, but more with joy and laughter. And taking the first step towards towards new experiences in my work environment. And I like new experiences. New experiences are not scary for me or anything like that. No, I like change. So all those words are very positive. Taking the first step. So that seems like a good goal. It's rather precise. I joyfully take the first step towards my experiences in my new work environment. The first step means going back to work on Monday. Getting up, putting my things in, taking the car, the e-bike, the electrical bike, and going to work. And with the attitude being joyfully. So yeah, I'm pretty happy about that goal. If I could do that, if I could approach this transition with that attitude, it would be so much more light and enjoyable. So yes, I'd like to balance that goal together with you. Now, if I evaluate certain things about that, like I said, there's a heaviness and a sense of obligation. We talked about joy as well. We can evaluate the joy that I feel. And there's a certain resistance. So I think we'll talk about readiness. Readiness of that first step, and towards acceptance. If I say this goal to myself, I joyfully take the first step towards new experiences in my work environment. I have kind of like a band blocking here, a stomach band. That blocks me. And what type of thoughts do I have? I joyfully take the first step towards new experiences in my work environment. I have pretty much so positive thoughts. I have the positive thought of, yes, that's good. So I'm going to write that down. Yes, that's good. Okay, and so now we're going to evaluate them from 0 to 10. 0 being not at all present, and 10 being completely present and kind of filling up all the space. So the heaviness, what level would I be on for heaviness? What spontaneously comes to mind is 6. That's pretty high. I don't feel that physically in my body, but there's something in me that says, yes, the heaviness is 6. The joy is at a 3 level. Obligation is 5. Readiness, 4. Acceptance, 2. The stomach band, it says 7 to me, so it's stronger in my body than what my conscious mind knows. And yes, that's good. That's a 10. If I evaluate the stress that this goal causes for me, I joyfully take the first step towards new experiences in my work environment. The stress that it causes is at a 6, and my motivation is an 8, which is next to, it's the second highest. So yes, that's good. My mind, my mental dimension is 100% behind the objective. But I would say that my body has some resistance there. Okay, so all of those factors, we're going to reevaluate them at the end of the balance and see what's shifted and what's changed. So the whole time we'll be working, I'm going to be thinking about this goal. I joyfully take the first step towards new experiences in my work environment. And we're going to be doing self-balancing because you're not here to push my arms or my feet or my legs. So I'll be doing it, and I'll just be sharing with you how we go through this. We're going to be doing a Touch for Health 14 muscle fix as you go balance. Okay. because otherwise for the over energies I'd need someone to push my arm. Okay, so I'm going to move this back so we can do all the muscle testing so that you can see it. Hold on, I've got a problem here with plugs. Okay, so we're going to push it back even more. Now you can see my feet and all the rest of it. Okay, so I joyfully take the first step towards new experiences in my work environment. And that's something I'm going to kind of be repeating to myself. I joyfully take the first step towards new experiences in my work environment. Okay. Don't see my face. I joyfully take first steps towards new experiences in my work environment. So with that in mind, I'm going to do this. And when I do that movement, I find it's difficult to breathe. There's something here that's not letting me breathe. So I'm going to rub the neurolymphatic points for this muscle, for the supraspinatus. While I think about, I joyfully take the first step towards new experiences in my work environment. Hey, that's one of the first times I've been able to say it completely without looking at the paper. This is doing me good, and I have kind of chills all up and down my legs. So it's connecting something. I'm going to do it at the base of my skull. That gives me chills up my main body and my legs as well. Something's happening with my legs being reconnected. And I need my legs to take the first step, right? Okay, so we're going to see if it's different now. So I joyfully take the first steps towards new experiences in my work environment. Yes, it's much more, I don't know if you can see it in the muscle movement, but it's much lighter, much more airier. So that seems pretty balanced to me. If it weren't, then I would go on and do the neurovascular points. Okay, so let's keep going. Oh, this is completely blocked. I can't open up. So we're going to rub those points. And I'm going to be massaging the back points between the second and third dorsal vertebrae on each side of the spine. By the end of the IKC Balancathon, you'll know these points, these first 4 points, because we use them a lot. I had a feeling that something has unlocked at this level. So let's try it again. I joyfully take the first step towards new experiences in my work environment. No, not there yet. So I'm going to hold the neurovascular points. I'll just show you where they are. They're on the temples. Sorry, it's making me burp. Yeah, I think I'd like to try it now. I joyfully take the first step towards new experiences in my work environment. Yes, that feels much, much better. Much easier to go back with the hands and the arms and the shoulders. Okay, the next muscle, I'm still with my goal. There's a difference between left and right. It seems like right is really free and left is. So I'm going to rub the neurolymphatic points on the left-hand side between the fifth and sixth ribs, from the front of the body over to the side. And I can feel things reconnecting in my thighs as I'm rubbing these points. This is the stomach meridian, and it's with the pectoralis myoclavicularis, so it's a muscle that's up here, but I'm feeling differences in energy flow in my legs. Okay, we're going to try it again. Yes, left and right are very similar now. We're going to do the latissimus dorsi, which is on the spleen meridian. So I joyfully take the first step towards new experiences in my work environment. So there's something with experiences that seems to be a little bit weird. So I'm going to do the point here because I couldn't say the word. I'll do it with the other hand. Between 7th and 8th rib on the left-hand side. Wow, it just feels like something's been lifted off my back. So let's try it again. This is the back muscle. I think I need a little bit more, so I'm going to hold the neurovascular points. They're just behind the ear on each side. Yes, I feel like my legs are waking up. So let's go ahead and check. Oh yeah, completely different. Completely different feeling. No difference between left and right, so we can stay with that. We're going to do the subscapularis now for the heart meridian. That's okay, I don't feel any difference for that one. We're going to do the quadriceps. Oh. Lifting my leg is difficult, so I think we need to balance that. Difficult to take that first step. Inside myself, I know that once I take that first step, it's over and it's good and I'm happy and joyful. But taking the first step towards work is, for the moment, very heavy in my legs. I feel like I need to move my legs a little bit. Let's see. It's already lighter, but I think I need to do a little bit of cross crawl here. So let's see when we lift our legs. No, still not it. So I need to hold the neurovascular points, which are up above the top of the ear on the side. I joyfully take the first step towards new experiences in my work environment. I need to blow my nose, sorry. Yes, I'm becoming aware of a certain amount of stress that has nothing to do with going back to work, that I've accumulated this summer, what with the accident with my hands, breaking both my hands and all that. And I just feel that I need to let it go, because if I start the year like that, it's just not going to be joyful. So I would just like to symbolically take that stress and give it to the earth to be recycled. And let's see how it is now. Much lighter. Okay. Now we have the peroneus, which is the bladder meridian. This movement. I joyfully take the first step towards new experiences in my work environment. Good, okay? No, the left foot doesn't feel very good. So, we're going to massage around the belly button and on the top of the pubic bone. Okay, let's check it out. This foot, it was. Oh yes, much lighter. I'm going to check the other foot just to make sure. Yes, very good. Okay, kidney, psoas muscle. I joyfully take the first step towards new experiences in my work environment. I can feel some tension on the outside of the legs, so I'm going to go to my belly button. One thumb width to the side and one thumb width up. I'm going to massage those neurolymphatic points for the psoas muscle. And that's going to help the vital energy circulation on my kidney meridian. Good, so let's go ahead and check that out. Oh yeah, no more tensions on the outside of the leg. And feels still good to the right. Okay, now we have the circumflex or pericard meridian with the gluteus medius. It cracked when I did the movement on the right hand side, so that felt good. No problem with that one. We're going to go to teres minor, which is on the triple warmer meridian. I joyfully take the first step towards new experiences in my work environment. Feels good too. Okay, let's go to deltoidus anterior, which is the gallbladder meridian. Feels good. It's my choice to to go back to work. So yeah, I feel good about that one. We have liver now, so we go from here up. Now that is difficult, so I'm going to massage between the 5th and 6th ribs on the right hand side. And think about my goal. Oh, I've got chills again in my legs. Yeah, so try that out again. Much better, feels much lighter. We have the lung meridian. So for the lung meridian, we go out and down. Okay, like we're reaching out for something and down. So I joyfully take the first step towards new experiences in my work environment. A little rusty to start with, but feels good. So I don't think we need to balance that. Just doing the movement balanced me. So now we have tonsure de fascia lata, which is on the large intestine. I forgot about joy with this one when I was saying my sentence to me. It was just I take my first step. Yeah, so I'm holding back, so I need to balance that. So I can enter into joy. The joy of going back to work. Yes. Meeting people, sharing, discovering things, new experiences. Yeah, the satisfaction of the work I do. We'll see if that's made a difference. So I joyfully take the first step towards new experiences in my work environment. Yes, that feels very good. So I'm going to pull the table back now. We've done our 14 muscles. We've fixed them as we go. We've used the capacity that we have to know what's happening in us and feel to determine if we needed to balance or not. And then we used the different points that we've learned together, the neurolymphatic, neurovascular, and if we had gone beyond neurovascular, we would have done the meridian circulation, the meridian massage. Just a second, I think I'm going to sneeze. No, it's okay. So I'm going to consider the different elements again now and see if something's shifted ever since we've done that work together on this theme, on my goal of I joyfully take the first step towards new experiences in my work environment. So the heaviness, I would say 3. It's gone from 6 to 3. So there's a little heaviness left. That might mean that I want to do 1 or 2 of the things that we've done during this balance tomorrow and Monday morning, which will make taking the first step easier. Joy, I'm up to 7. That's good. Obligation. It was rather low to start with. It was at 5. No, that's not too low. I thought it was at 3, but no, it was at 5. And I'm down to a 2 on that. Readiness. I'm also up to 7. Acceptance, I would say I'm at 9. That went from a 2 to a 9. That's a pretty big shift. Huh? Stomach band, let's see. I'm going to pay attention to this part here while I say my goal to myself. I joyfully take the first step towards new experiences in my work environment. No, it's empty. That's down to a 1. There's still a little bit, as we would say in French, un petit choix. There's a little bit there, but it's a 1 compared to 7 before. Yes, that's good. That thought is still at 10, so it hasn't moved. The stress? There's not really any stress. I mean, I know how to go back to work. I've done that many times in my life. So I can take that down to a 0. And my motivation is still at 8. It hasn't shifted. It was rather high to start with, but I think that tomorrow I need to work on the heaviness and the obligation. Yes. So when I think about the heaviness, let me try and think about which one felt. Oh, the quadriceps. My legs felt so heavy. And then the which one was it where they felt really heavy? Was it? It wasn't this one. Wasn't this one. Wasn't that one. Oh yeah, liver. So I think tomorrow, with my goal, what I'd like to do is to continue the work. I would like to redo the neurolymphatic, neurovascular, and I'm going to add the meridian to get some movement and circulation on. For the small intestine, so for quadriceps, to lighten up my legs, and also on liver, which is the pectoralis major sternalis in English. Yeah. And so if I've seen that there's been a shift, I know there's still work to do, so I'm going to do that tomorrow. I'm going to give myself the right to work on it still and feel better about it. And if I think about the fact that the balance could be over now, or we could add something onto it. Yes, I feel like I need an 8 for my head because I'm pretty congested with my cold. So, since I'm doing this self-balance, I'm just going to go in the sense that feels good. So that's one rotation that I could use. Otherwise, I could use this rotation. No, that doesn't feel good. So I'm going to do this one. And I'm still thinking about my goal. Okay. And if I think about stopping there, that seems pretty good to me. I'm going to drink some water, just because we've moved some energy, and so we need to drink some water to keep the energy moving. And yeah, I'm really happy that I took the time to do that. And I'd like to thank you for following along with me and helping me balance for this for Monday, because that's going to help me be more joyful and start my work week with a completely different attitude. So I'll be doing that tomorrow. Yeah. Great. So do you see how it works? We basically pick a theme. We do our pre-checks. Then we, excuse me, then we set a goal, a positive, personal, precise, and possible goal. And then we do the muscle movements. And if we need to, then we correct them. We balance them, if you want to call it. That's the more appropriate word. We balance the energy flow on them. And once we've done the 14 muscles in Fix As You Go style, then we reevaluate subjectively and see what has shifted, what's different, what's still there, and we make plans of how we can continue the work, how we can prolong the dynamic that has been discovered in the balance. And then we reconsider the objective and know whether we still have stress or don't have stress. The stress was not there in that sense, but there is an emotional stress. So I probably would like to add on the ESR points tomorrow as well, since it's an emotional nature. So I'm going to add those as well. ESR. So I have neurolymphatic, neurovascular, meridian massage, and ESR for the quadriceps and pectoralis major sternalis muscles tomorrow. Great. So thanks so much for helping me with that. We've had a couple of emails come in. I don't know if they're about the Balancathon. Oh, yes. Here they are. It's from Tina Sabotic in Slovenia. She said, "We had a great balance today. Thank you that we could be part of this amazing event. Next year again?" Yes. That's the big question, isn't it? Yeah, next year. And she sent me some pictures. I've never seen Tina, so I'm going to open one up so I can see. Oh, that is Marlene. Hold on a second. So she has sent a picture of, let me see what we got here. Yeah, that's not it. Oh, she had little heart balloons that she put on the wall. That's cute. I know they did that in the UK as well. And let's see what this picture is. Yes, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people gathered that are doing muscle balances. It's kind of in a loft setting. It's really pretty. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 people and the photographer. Not to forget the photographer. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Doing ESR work. We don't know if it's the present, future, or past. Great. Tina, thank you so much for sharing that with us. That was great to see that. I am slowly but surely getting the videos onto the YouTube channel. So you just go onto YouTube and then you do a search for IKC Balancathon. And that'll bring you to the channel. And on that channel we have general information. We have 3 playlists. So general information about the IKC Balancathon event. We have 14 muscle dance videos that are very short that you can use to balance yourself every day or every 2 days or once a week. And then we have, I've set up a playlist now where we have the live streaming that I'm putting down. It takes a while to get it registered because some of those films are 2 hours long because people are doing that during the full 2 hours of the event from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. So I wanted to check the website and see what we have going live. So I see myself. Yes, I am going live. And let's see if we have something else. I can see some new videos, but there's nothing else live. Yes. Okay. So normally at this point, I would ask, if I were giving a Touch for Health class, do you have any questions? Which is a little difficult to ask you that since we don't have a way to talk to each other. Yes, I wanted to see also if we have people out there watching. Yes, so we have 4 people watching us in direct. So maybe if you're together, you 4 people, maybe you can talk about questions that you might have, see if others can answer them. And if those questions are still there, you can go on the website, and on the contact page is my email address. And you can write those questions to me, and I'll be very happy to answer them for you. It's been really fun. We're winding down to getting closer and closer to Hawaii. I don't know if you've ever been to the Hawaiian Islands, but they're very beautiful, kind of a little paradise. And so it's nice to have heart energy going there as well. I saw on the local news that there has been some high storms in Indonesia, so our heart goes out to you and to all those affected by those storms. I hope that you have loving energy around you that's going to help you get through this event. So, we're going back to Touch for Health 4 book now. Pretty much so finished the Touch for Health 3. Just want to check if we've seen it. Yes. And so we need to go into Touch for Health 4. So in Touch for Health 4, we learn a new balancing technique, which is to rub the skin up and down on specific vertebrae on the bony part. So we're moving skin over the bone. We're not doing anything to the bones or to the spine. We're just moving the skin up and down. Those are called spinal reflexes, and those were developed by John Thie. We also have the possibility of identifying associated emotions with a goal and balancing that along with the goal. So when I did my balance with you, I had already identified the emotions that I felt. But otherwise, we can use the 5 elements with their emotions and muscle test each element to see if that element is unbalanced, and then which emotion on that is unbalanced. So we can use the indicator muscle, which is just the deltoides anterior, in this manner. And if it unlocks, that means to us that there's something there that is implied in the goal, and that we can look at it and also balance it so it'll be easier to achieve our goal. That's always a big moment for students when they learn how to do that. Some people are very, how can I say that? They're very discreet and don't like to talk about their emotions. And Touch for Health really respects that. It allows people to talk as much or as little as they want about certain aspects. So it identifies an emotion that is present in the goal, and the person can see how that's connected. Then they can talk about it, and by talking about it and sharing it, it gets it moving, and so it's no longer as blocked as it was before. Otherwise, some people really talk easily about emotions, and in that event, they know exactly what's going on. Oh, I do have a question from somebody. Hi, yes, I have a question. In your nice self-balance, you used a ring of neurolymphatic instead of 2 points at bladder around the belly button. Why? Thanks for all, Andrea. That's a very good question, Andrea. I've been in touch with Wayne Topping, who's been doing kinesiology for much, much longer than I have. And those points have changed so much for bladder that I've just decided to put my hands in a circle fully around the belly button and massage all the area around it. I do agree with you that they're written as, if I have my belly button here, well, it's not my belly button, but let's say it is, that normally they're on either side of it. But I've just gotten used to putting the full circle on around my belly button and working with that. The point used to be in the belly button, then it was next to the belly button on each side, and then further away. So I pretty much massage all the area around the belly button. And that's kind of like one of the rules in Touch for Health. You know, if you don't, if you're not really sure that you're exactly on the point, then massage or touch or put all your fingers down and cover more than just the point. That way you're sure that you've got the point. And that's kind of a nice aspect of Touch for Health, is that, it doesn't have to be so precise and difficult and all that. We can say, okay, well, I know the points there on either side of the belly button, and I've heard that it's moved around a lot, so I'm going to cover those points on each side of the belly button, and I'm going to cover other points as well. That's why I do that, yeah. Sometimes counting vertebrae on the back is not that easy, and so we think that we're at the right height, so we can massage the neurolymphatic points around the spine at that height. But we can also go a little bit higher and a little bit lower to make sure that we cover the points that need to be massaged. Normally the person, when you're on the point, says, oh yeah, that's right where it is. So sometimes it's a little bit higher than what you thought, or a little bit lower. I hope that answers your question, Andrea. So we're in Touch for Health 4, and we have a fabulous, one of my favorite balancing techniques, which is the Luo points. And Luo points, we can discover them when we're looking at, when we're using over energy points with the alarm points, and when we can determine what is over energy and what is under energy. And Luo points are always in the same element. So when we can use this technique, that means that there's an over energy and an under energy in the same element. It's like the whole element is not balanced. One side has too much energy, either the yin or the yang, and the other side doesn't have enough energy. So it's kind of like if you have two children and one of the children has all the fruits and the other one has absolutely nothing to eat. It's going to cause problems. So what we do with the Luo points is we open up a communication channel between both sides, both aspects, energy aspects of the same element, so that the yin and the yang can once again balance themselves, auto-regulation. Yeah. So I like Luo points because when I hold the Luo points, they're similar to acupressure points, and they come from traditional Chinese medicine. When I hold them, I can feel a lot of energy movement happening underneath my fingers. And as we saw for the sedation points or the tonification acupressure points, when we hold these points, we will know that it's balanced when we have a simultaneous pulse on both sides. And since we're in the self-responsibility model, that means that I talk about pulses to the person that I'm accompanying before I hold the points. And I ask them to observe if and when they will be feeling these pulse points, and that they will be pulsing at the same time and at the same intensity. And so I pretty much so rely on the person who is receiving the balance to tell me when they feel that something's shifted and they can feel the pulse points. And normally if that happens, then when we double check the muscle, where we really have it balanced out. So that's pretty good to rely on the other person because they are the expert of themselves, as I have said many times during this event. What else do we have in Touch for Health 4? Oh yes, we have other types of sedation techniques, because when we're doing the reactivity procedure, I haven't shown it here because you need two people. But sometimes we can't pinch the muscle, and we need to pinch the muscle so that the muscle that has taken all the energy from the others lets go of it. And sometimes we can't do that because the muscle's inside the body, or there's another reason that doesn't allow us to pinch the belly of the muscle. So in Touch 4, we learn other ways to do that. And that's different ways of doing the neurolymphatic, neurovascular, and meridian, and origin, insertion, Golgi. Yeah. We have something called the liberation of neurolymphatic points. I'm going to talk about that once we've changed time zones, because we're on the point of leaving the UTC -8 time zone, and we're going into the UTC -9 time zone now. And that means we're going to French Polynesia. Ready? That should be a lot of fun, don't you think? Maybe we should muscle dance in French Polynesia. Get us also ready for Hawaii. Yes, so here's to UTC -9. We're almost there, everybody. I can't believe that this is actually, happening, that we're getting towards the all the way to the west with this, and that we're gonna finish the tour of the Earth. It's been taking a couple hours here to get around, 27 hours. So this is great that we're getting there. So the liberation of neurolymphatic. Well, you've noticed that when I do the neurolymphatic points, I massage vigorously. Well, can you imagine if you're ticklish? And somebody starts to go and do these points here? What's going to happen? You're going to go, ooh, and start laughing. So sometimes it's not possible to massage the points, especially, when you're between ribs and things. Oftentimes children are very ticklish, and so we can't do that. And this technique, which is the liberation of the neurolymphatic, is a way that we can work with neurolymphatic points without vigorously massaging them. So we hold on with one hand onto either the start or the finish of the meridian, and the other hand is on the neurolymphatic point. We choose the start or finish point on the meridian that's the furthest away. And then we hold that, and that gets the energy moving. So that's a really useful way for Touch for Healthers to adapt and better accompany the people that they're giving a balance to. And sometimes also things can be kind of hurt, points can be neurolymphatic points can be awfully painful. And you could use this technique, the liberation of neurolymphatic, as well for those types of situations. And then we go over a lot into analysis of posture and how a blockage in our posture will really affect the flow of vital energy. And that's an important point, yeah. When you see a toddler, that hasn't had any major health issues, running around and playing and getting up, lying down, jumping, running, walking, sleeping, you can see spontaneous movement and a posture that is most of the time very balanced and centered. And with life experiences, little incidents, our body slowly learns to shut down certain movement patterns. And when we shut down certain movement patterns, then that brings us to a blockage in the posture. So working on those will release vital energy and make it available for other things in life. Because when you block a movement, that means that the body has to invest energy to hold it. So if I have I often use the shoulders because it's easy to see. So if I have one shoulder that's higher, I have to maintain and use vital energy to keep this muscular contraction. If I can work on that postural blockage, deviation, and release it, when I release it, my vital energy is going to flow and go other places and support me in other ways in my life. So it's very positive to work on body posture and a pretty deep work going through with that. So, I have a message from Arlene Green. She sent me a picture. Somebody's giving her a balance. So she has a child in her class, and the child is giving her a balance. Let's see what Arlene has to say. Hi, all from the U.S. East Coast. We had a Touch for Health intro class with a group of 8 students, and my grandson assisted with showing how to do a 14 muscle balance to the new students. My grandson, age 8, has been doing balances since he was 6. Some of our students that came were Touch for Health grads, and more than half were newbies. That means they've never done Touch for Health before. We live streamed and did video, although my husband had to start a second one as it stopped at one point and then missed the end recording button at the end. Oh well. We had fun, and the new students got to receive a balance. Then she says, thanks, Robin, for setting in motion the heart energy wave. Yes. So definitely a great time in North Carolina. Thank you, Arlene, for sharing that with us. They're beautiful pictures. I'm going to be putting these pictures on the YouTube or website channels as well, so that everybody can share and see them. Arlene's been doing Touch for Health for a long time. She's one of the 2 faculty for the United States, one of the IKC Touch for Health teachers for a long time. And so Arlene has done some pretty interesting work with pain techniques. So if you need to, you can always look her up, Arlene Green. A lot of people that have participated in this are amazing people. I should probably take some time to list them all now. Let me go back. I'm going to miss some names, and that's for sure. So like I said, the committee, which is Tony, Sandy, Helena, Thomas, and Xavier. And then we have Catherine, we have Philip in Australia, we have Kenichi and Kentaro in Japan. We have Debbie Elizabeth, Henry, Maya, oops, lost my page, and Noni in Indonesia. We had Rashida and her friends. I don't have their names here, but there were 4 events in India. We have Anna in Dubai, Anu in Finland, Noreni in Byron, and excuse me if I pronounce your name wrong. It's not intentional. It's just that I'm ignorant and I don't know how to pronounce it correctly. We have Anna in Denmark. Apparently Matthew Thie was there as well, son of John Thie. We have Pablo in Spain. We had Dalila in Switzerland, Malen in Norway, Thomas in Belgium, Juliette Maret, Juliette in France, and Corinne in France as well. We have Jer in Ireland, Sandy, Hazel, Miranda, June. There's a whole gang of Touch for Healthers. We have Rita, Rachel, Anita, Sam, Helena. Oh, I know I'm missing some of you, and I love you and send my heart to you, and excuse for not remembering your names. We have Michelle in Canada, Giorgio in Canada as well, Earl, Arlene, John, Greg, Sandra in Canada, Alexis in Costa Rica. We have Gladys and Jose in Puerto Rico. And we're coming up in Hawaii with Swami Om, Tony, who's on the ship, and with the Heavens Touch Spa in Pago Pago, which is American Samoa. Yeah. And then Helena answered back to Arlene and everybody else, because we've got this massive email messages going saying, awesome pictures. Touch for Health truly is for everyone, and lots of love to everyone from a very heart-centered UK. Very much so. Yeah. So we have about 51 minutes. I'm going to play the Touch for Health song for you. Please remember that you can purchase this song on touchforhealthcharity.com for £1.50. Let me open that up. Beautiful song by Misfit Pearl and the Oddfellows. That was written especially for our IKC Balancathon event and recorded for us. So you can support the artists, Touch for Health Charity, and IKC Balancathon by purchasing that song. So here we go.
Changing, wondering what to do. Maybe to change the world, you have to balance you. Tapping core of global energy flowing through, creating positive energy for the children to grow into. Together with a world view of caring, common goal of reaching potential, heart to heart sharing, tapping core love, global energy flowing through, creating positive energy for the children to grow into. Starts with you, feeling good about you, jumping into life and feeling alright. Starts with you, feeling good about you, jumping into life and feeling alright. About you, jumping into life and feeling alright. Starts with you, feeling good about you, jumping into life and feeling alright. You can feel it changing, wondering what to do. Maybe to change the world, you have to balance you. Tapping core of global energy flowing through, creating positive energy for the children to grow into.
I hear it another time. I just love this song.
You can feel it changing, wondering what to do. Maybe to change the world, you have to balance you. Tapping core of global energy flowing through, creating positive energy for the children to grow into. We can all come together with a world view of care. heart-to-heart sharing, tapping core love, global energy flowing through, creating positive energy for the children to grow into. Starts with you, feeling good about you, jumping into life and feeling alright. Starts with you, feeling good about you, jumping into life and feeling alright. Starts with you, feeling good about you, jumping into life and feeling alright. Starts with you, feeling good about you, jumping into life and feeling alright. You can feel it changing, wondering what to do, maybe to change the world. You have to balance you. Topic core of global energy flowing through, creating positive energy for the children to grow into.
Okay, I wanted to be able to give you the website address in case you wanted to purchase that song, purchase a copy of that song. So let me just check out here. It's www. all in one word now, touchforhealthcharity.com. And when you go on that website, you can go on the shop page, and on the shop page, you can purchase the song, along with other things. Okay. So I've also opened up the IKC website page so that you can learn about that. If you don't know about IKC, as I have said throughout the evening, throughout the day, throughout the IKC Balancathon, IKC International Kinesiology College is a nonprofit association. So you can find them at IKC, all in small letters, -info, INFO, also in small letters, .org. And so on their website, they explain, a little bit about themselves. They say, okay, who we are. We are a not-for-profit company based in Australia with faculty throughout the world. We provide certified training in Touch for Health in over 60 countries. Our international database features hundreds of registered instructors who teach the Touch for Health synthesis, the original kinesiology system for non-professionals. Non-professionals meaning also non-medical. Touch for Health is now the basis for many practitioner programs worldwide. So the mission statement, the International Kinesiology College is an international college without walls, which raises awareness, maintains standards, develops and supports Touch for Health and other kinesiology programs in the educational self-responsibility model at community and professional levels, with particular emphasis on the values of Touch for Health. The values of Touch for Health noted by the 2012 IKC membership are kindness, helpfulness, efficacy, and simplicity. So what we do, IKC disseminates Touch for Health synthesis worldwide, certifies Touch for Health instructors and students worldwide, supports the growth of kinesiology based on the Touch for Health self-responsibility and educational models, and recognizes kinesiology courses and practitioner programs worldwide. So IKC is composed of 3 schools. There is the Touch for Health School, which, as its name implies, promotes a system of kinesiology called Touch for Health, as developed by its founder, John Thie. The Touch for Health synthesis and other Touch for Health-based workshops and programs. It is home for Touch for Health instructors and consultants worldwide. Then there is the Professional School. The Professional School is for professional practitioners and programs. And the Personal Development School, which is to promote personal development, personal interest workshops, and classes. So when you go on the website, if you're just learning now about Touch for Health, or if during the course of all the live streaming you've seen things that you say, "Ooh, I need to see that again," you can go on the website and find classes listed for all over the world, and then sign up for that training. So that's a pretty good tool that the website gives us. And that was one of the goals of the IKC Balancathon. The Balancathon was also a means for us to share what IKC is all about and to help inform people about Touch for Health if they've never seen it before. So that's good stuff, yeah, to get out there. The other reason that we did the IKC Balancathon was to celebrate 30 years. 30 years of Touch for Health International conferences. And that's a pretty big achievement. That means for 30 years, Touch for Health has been balancing the world. Internationally, really balancing the world. So that's pretty cool. I've got a message here from Alexis, who says that she was live streaming for the full 2 hours, but when she looked at the site, she only saw a couple minutes of video. So she didn't know she did it right. So I'll check into it, Alexis, and see, because sometimes it comes up later on the screen. It has to have a certain time to integrate. And Helena has mentioned that every time she looked at live streaming today, for some reason, she kept getting a trailer for a Netflix series on there. I don't have that, but perhaps some of you have had that. And if it is, I'm sorry. We are not sponsored by Netflix and not by that series. We are using freeware. So sometimes freeware comes with advertisements. And I'd like just to apologize if that has been a problem for you today. Helena says, nearly there. Yes, yes, yes. And the Balancathon has far surpassed my expectations. It truly has created a positive heart energy around the globe. Amazing. Yes, every time I've talked about IKC Balancathon, I get chills all up and down my spine. So this is the right year we need to do all that. So we have about 40 minutes left before we pass the streaming, to pass the candle and the flame on to Hawaii. So I thought I would just show you some pictures of the meridians. And we can trace them on our body. So let's keep them in the order that we do them. So the conception meridian. Let me go ahead and get back to my live streaming page so that I can see if you can see. This is the conception meridian. It goes up the front of the body. It's one of our pre-checks that we massage it. Then we have the governing vessel meridian, which starts on the tailbone, goes up the spine, over the head, and comes down to reach this point here. So since we can't massage all the way up, we go as far up with our hand as we can, reach over, grab the energy that we're massaging on the meridian, and bring it down here. Then we're going to look at the stomach meridian. Hold on a sec. Stomach meridian starts below the eye, goes down, goes up the side, and then comes down the throat, over the chest, down the midline. Hold on, it's not finished. And goes down the front of the leg all the way to the second toe. Has a little zigzag in there. Can you see it on the front? We have the spleen meridian. I'm going to start with its first points. So it starts on the big toe, goes up the inside of the leg, then goes up the sides, each side of the body, above the chest and down below the armpit. Heart. The heart meridian starts in the armpit. So what you're seeing is where one meridian ends, the next one starts not too far away from it. There you go. And it goes down the inside of the arm all the way to the little pinky, to the little finger. We have small intestine that goes up the back of the arm. So it starts on the other side of the fingernail of the pinky, goes up the back of the arm, and see, those are the zigzags that I was talking about when we did the time of day balance. And it goes on to the up the back of the neck, onto the cheekbone, and in front of the ear. The urinary bladder meridian starts at the inside corner of the eye, and it's both sides, and it goes up around the midline. So we go like that over the midline. It keeps on each side of the midline, and it goes down the back. In kinesiology, it does a first down, then a second down, and then it's going to go down the back of the leg, all the way to the little toe on the fingernail on the outside. So kidney starts underneath the foot, and that's what I was talking about when we did the gates, that this point here, which is kidney 1, we can sometimes add to the gates if we would like to. Goes up then the leg, inside the leg, really back behind, as far behind as possible. Then straight up, very close to the midline, but on both sides of the midline, and comes up to these points that we massage when we do our pre-checks. Those are the end points of the kidney meridian. So we have circumflex, or the pericard meridian, and it starts close here to the breast, goes down pretty much so the middle of the arm, all the way to the third finger. And once again, we're near the fingernail on that. Triple warmer is on the back of the arm and goes up from the ring finger. Let me put it right. Goes up the middle of the back. See, we don't have the zigzags that the small intestine had on the back of the shoulder blades. It just goes kind of higher up across the shoulder blades and comes around the ear to finish by the outside edge of the eyebrow. And here is the most complicated of all the meridians, a very wonderful meridian, which is gallbladder. And you can see it starts at the corner of the eye, goes down towards the ear, comes up and back behind the ear, comes more onto the forehead in this area, goes along, and then here we don't really know if it goes in front or behind or straight down, but it crosses and goes zigzagging all the way down the side of the body until you get to your legs, and then it goes pretty much so straight down and goes to the fourth toe. Once again below the toenail. Liver starts on the big toe, goes up the inside of the leg, comes up and opens up onto the side at about the waist level, then comes up underneath the breast on the front. Pretty much so centrally located. And this on both sides, huh? And then we have lung. Let me find lung for you. Yes. Lung starts on the shoulder, goes down the top of the inner arm all the way to the thumb, beneath the thumbnail. And the last of those 14 meridians, which is large intestine. Large intestine starts on the index finger, goes up the top of the outside of the arm, pretty much so on top of the shoulders, comes up towards the middle below the nose, and then goes up to the corner of the nostril. Mm-hmm. So those are the meridians. And they're very central to Touch for Health. Mm-hmm. One thing we haven't talked about in Touch for Health is the last basic principle, which is in the Touch for Health 1 book, that talks about choices in what are we going to work on in the imbalance situation. So a lot of times when we're working with energy imbalances, we work on over energy. Mm-hmm. And working on over energy can be painful, because we talked about that earlier with the simple pain techniques, but oftentimes pain is associated with an over energy on the meridians. And so some methods will massage or work directly on where the tension is. Touch for Health takes a different approach. When we have over and under energy, when we're into that type of distinction, it looks, I'm going to find the page so I can show it to you. Sometimes graphically it's much easier. Here. Right. Okay. So this type of situation represents a bone and opposing muscles that hold it into place. And when everything's in balance, we have the same type of muscle tension that's on one side and on the other. So everything is balanced in equilibrium. But sometimes in certain situations in life, we get like a knot, an over energy that installs in one of the muscles. And that means that the other one has to let go of its energy and become a lot more lax. So typically in this type of situation, methods go where the knot is and they get it to unwind, and that can be very painful. Touch for Health takes the opposite approach. It goes there where the under energy is and reinforces that muscle so that it will pull in to its proper tonus. And by pulling into its proper energy balance, this other opposing muscle is going to give up the energy, the extra energy that it's holding on to. So it's a more organic procedure in that sense and much less painful. So in Touch for Health, we almost always work on under energy. There are one or two little situations where we work on over energy, but most of the time we're working on reinforcing under energy on meridians and on muscles. This is the health triangle that I was talking about, but rather it's in French. So that's the balanced health triangle. Oh, no, sorry. That's the balanced health triangle. You can see it's at equilibrium. But sometimes one side pulls out and we get an unbalanced situation where one side is going to have to give up investment in energy. It's like when we don't drink enough water. The body has to deal with that, whether it wants to or not. It has to accept what we give it as water. And so oftentimes the body will start saving water in other types of situations. So we will urinate less, we will transpire less, and maybe have less water in our mouth, digest less liquids in our digestive system. And so the body always tries to find balance with whatever we give it. And that's why we can have these type of under energy, over energy situations that stay in place, because the body will deal with it and do what it has to do in order to continue to be functional. So water is a big change for some people. Because if we talk about water, we can also talk about the fact that anything that has caffeine or the type of caffeine that's in tea, I don't remember the word in English, but those are substances that take away water from our bodies. So we have a lot of people drinking coffee, teas, black tea, green tea, soft drinks, Coca-Cola, iced tea, just to name a couple. I'm not going to get on anybody's back, but those are the ones that I see the most, in my clientele. And people think that they're drinking liquids, that they're getting enough liquids, but in reality, the caffeine in those are taking liquids out of their bodies. So if this is the case, then oftentimes it's important to give the body a chance to rebalance itself by gradually providing more water to it. If, from day 1 to day 2, you add 1 liter of water, the body's not going to know what to do with it. He's going to say, oh, wow, we're drowning in water. I don't know what to do. And he's just going to pass it all through. So we need to make small changes, organic changes, changes that respect our body's need to always create balance and to have time to change things. The body is a little bit slower sometimes than the mind. So sometimes we need to add each week a little bit more water, which gives the body time to adjust to that, to get used to it, and to create a new habit of drinking water. And I've seen drinking water take care of insomnia sometimes. Yeah, I once worked with a client. He was about 10 or 11 years old and, had a lot of worries. Kind of a worrisome type of person, and didn't drink any water, only drank caffeine-based drinks. And so we talked about water, and I shared my knowledge that I have learned about water. And he decided that, in all self-responsibility, that he was going to see if that made a difference for him, because he was not sleeping well. Took him about 3 hours to get to sleep every night. So he went to bed at 8 and finally fell asleep at 11 p.m. And it's a little bit too late for somebody that young. And so he gradually increased his water content, and I had set up with him that he would call me, if to give me some news about whether it was working, whether it wasn't working, if we needed to see each other again, or if everything was okay. And I didn't hear from him for a long time. We just had one balance together. And then he called back to me like maybe about 2 months later. And he called and he said, I just want to tell you that everything's great. I'm sleeping really well, and I drink a lot more water, and I don't have any more sleeping problems. So I said, wow, you've done an excellent job, That's pretty great, the change that you've made in your life. And so he was very proud about that. It's clear that we have basic tendencies, so if things get a little rough, he has a tendency to get worried. But he knows that he has tools now with Touch for Health that can help him get through that. Make it easier through those times, because everybody lives tough times at one point or another, and so we can go through them in a positive manner or in a negative manner. And so oftentimes the techniques that we learn for self-balancing, for helping our family, friends, and acquaintances in Touch for Health make it that going through those more difficult times or not as nice times can be a lot easier and a lot more comfortable. So we're getting close to Hawaii time. Yes. You can also use Touch for Health for your plants. And one thing I wanted to talk about before I hand over to Hawaii is also the fact that when you use Touch for Health for yourself and you start feeling more connected to yourself, this is a positive influence on all those around you. So oftentimes the fact that they see you as being happier, as being more joyful, as being more empowered, as being more motivated, less stressful, less tired, with more vital energy, other people can see that there is this difference. And oftentimes they come and they ask, wow, you have so much energy. What do you do? What's your secret? And that's when, if they ask, that's when you can really get the message and share the message that Touch for Health is for everybody. It's very easy and very effective and no risk if it's done accordingly to the self-responsibility and the educational model. So oftentimes living our inner truth and doing things to help us be able to live that is much more powerful in terms of other people, rather than saying, you should do Touch for Health. So Touch for Health, we always say in the Touch for Health 1 class, is first of all for each and every one of us. And we're going to be good Touch for Healthers, good Touch for Health practitioners and consultants and students and friends if we use those tools for ourselves first and get a good experience about it. And then that helps us to be able to accompany other people as they go through the changes. Yeah, changing is easy for some people and more difficult for others. So having gone through the change ourselves, we can see more or less certain aspects of the change procedure. And that keeps us more empathetic. So, yes, we're winding down. I'm going to reconnect with you at 1 a.m. Swiss time. So that's in, let me check, 1, 2, and 3 hours time, where we're going to have a thought for the far west Pacific Ocean and the connection that it has with the far east Pacific Ocean. And we're going to think about the ocean, which in our day and age needs help. Yeah, the ocean is in a bad state, and we can definitely work on our personal well-being and on the well-being of the ocean. Water is important for planet Earth, and so we're going to be balancing that at the end. We'll have a special thought. We'll play the song. I'll blow out the candle and officially end the IKC Balancathon, which is going to be a pretty emotional experience for me, since I've been planning this for a year and a half with the other amazing committee members, and living this experience through 27 hours. And so we have about 15 minutes left. I would like to show you some of the drawings in the Touch for Health book before I hand over to Hawaii. So this is the meridian wheel. You can see the central, it's in French, sorry, but you can see the central vessel meridian and the governing vessel meridian in the center of the wheel, because we always balance them first, because of their savings account nature of yin and yang energy. Yeah, they're kind of like a basis that's going to help for the other 12 meridians. And you can see that we're in a circle. So whatever time of day it is, that means we can enter the circle and start balancing at that moment there, and go around in the same order. This is the order that energy circulates in our body during the 24-hour system. So if we look at this chart, I'm going to turn it so I can see it. For instance, the stomach meridian, which is pectoralis major clavicularis, it's this movement in its 14 muscles, is active from 7 to 9 a.m. That means that it's a good time to eat from 7 to 9 a.m. And once the energy has peaked in that and starts to slow down and diminish, up comes spleen energy, and that's from 9 to 11. So if we're going to have sweets, because the spleen meridian is really spleen and pancreas meridian. So if we're going to eat something sweet, it's a good idea to eat it from 9 to 11 in the morning, because we have the vital energy available to digest it at that point. Then we have heart. And heart is from 11 to 1 p.m. I think everybody's got that one down now because of the Balancathon. That one's going to be ding, 11 a.m., 1 p.m. And after that, we have the small intestine, which is from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. That's when we need to take time to be able to integrate things. Then from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. we have the bladder, urinary bladder meridian, that's at its peak. And from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. we have the kidney meridian, which is at its peak. And all the muscles associated with the kidney meridian are at its peak at that time. That means that at 7 p.m., after 7 p.m., vital energy that is available on the kidney meridian is going to lower itself. And so if you're drinking liquids, it's good to get your quantity of liquid into your body before 7 p.m. because afterwards energy is going down, and it'll be more difficult for the kidney meridian to handle excess water at that point. And that could wake us up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom. Then we have it from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. is circumflex or the pericard meridian. And from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. we have the triple warmer. Yes, which is the metabolism. And from 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. we have the gallbladder meridian. So when we look at this wheel, we can see that gallbladder is across the wheel from heart, and that means that they have a certain relationship together. We can take another one, for instance, small intestine. Small intestine is across from the liver. So that means that those two have a certain relationship, etc., etc. Bladder with lungs. And so if we follow the hours again, from 1 to 3 in the morning, we're on the liver meridian. And so if we wake up at that time in the middle of the night from 1 to 3, we can say that there is an imbalance on the liver meridian. Now, maybe that is not the cause of the imbalance, but it is a manifestation of the imbalance of energy circulation on that. And what we need to do is check the 14 muscles to find out what is the constellation of energy circulation that has and manifests this waking up at liver meridian time. And then work on the 1-point muscle balance to balance that out so that then we can get back to sleep. And then lung meridian is from 3 to 5 in the morning. That's another time when people often wake up, from 3 to 5. So 1 to 3 liver, 3 to 5 lung, and then from 5 to 7 is the large intestine. And normally this is a period where we're supposed to go to the bathroom from 5 to 7 a.m. So when we look at this wheel, we can see that there are certain relationships. For instance, stomach, like we said, is across from circumflex pericard, so they have a relationship. And it's followed by spleen, heart, so it's related to them. It also is related to spleen by the fact that it's in the same element. So we can see certain relationships between the meridians. So that's one of the drawings that's in the Touch for Health curriculum, and that we use to help us find the one-point balance by using these different relationships that they have together. Okay. Then we have the 5 elements. I showed that to you on another book, but we can see that there are arrows going from one element to the other. So the wood element is related to the earth element because wood controls the earth. The wood element is also related to water element because water feeds the wood and helps it grow. And we know that wood feeds the fire and helps it grow. So we have a lot of different reactions. There's always a link between all of the elements. And metal, which is the last one that's here, metal controls wood. So with the axe, we can cut down trees or other plants, So each element is related in a manner, in a type of power structure with the other 4 elements. And that means that anything in nature has the 5 elements in it. If it doesn't, then it's unbalanced and it is not complete, and it has an over energy and an under energy that needs to be dealt with. So on the back of the 4 manual, we have some we have this really great chart up at the top, which is a little bit complicated when you look at it because there's lots of numbers in there. But this is something that we can use for finding all of the points from the acupressure points. And down here we have all of the vertebrae that are necessary to know in order to do the spinal reflexes. And the last book that I have to show you in drawings, I don't have to show you, but I want to show you, is the Touch for Health 3 manual, where we have correspondences. And these correspondences will be developed in the Touch for Health metaphor class. The Touch for Health metaphor class can be taken after the Touch for Health 2 class. And we go into, according to the imbalances and the under and over energy that we find when we're setting a goal and balancing that goal, we can go in and find supplementary information that will help us symbolically or metaphorically to understand what's blocking or to identify what resource needs to be developed in order to be able to achieve the goal easier and with well-being. So this is a 2-day class that can be taken. It's available in almost every country as well. So you have Touch for Health 1 to 4. You have the metaphor class where we go into metaphors and symbolism. Then you have the Touch for Health Proficiency, which is a chance for Touch for Health students to show what they know. And to learn a little bit more know-how about self-responsibility, about technical matters. It's a revision class and also a chance to really anchor a good practice in Touch for Health. And then we have the Touch for Health training workshop, which is a class that has 2 goals. The first is that it's an in-depth Touch for Health class. So if people use Touch for Health with themselves and with others, they can come to the 8-day training workshop class and really go in depth and explore further information regarding all of the techniques and aspects of Touch for Health. And the other goal of this class is that it prepares Touch for Health students to become instructors. And that's also a good thing to have those two, to have those 2 options. Because as an instructor, we need to be able to explain things about Touch for Health to other people, but also as a practitioner. Because in the educational model, we're giving and sharing the knowledge about Touch for Health with the person who is receiving the balance. So that's pretty important stuff. Yeah. Those are the classes that for Touch for Health that you can find pretty much so around the world. There are other classes in the Touch for Health school, and like the description said on the IKC internet site, the Personal Development School has a lot of classes that you can look into as well. And so we're winding down. This is the last big sharing session that we're going to have about Touch for Health, and I'll join you at 1 a.m. to end the event. All good things must come to an end. And so I'm going to take the candle. Hawaii is a special place for me. The Hawaiian Islands are close to my heart. So I'm very privileged to be able to take this candle that has gathered, that symbolizes all the energy that has been traveling around this planet thanks to you and to all those local events and all those wonderful videos that you've been doing and the work that you've been doing on yourself and others. And so we're going to take this candle that represents all of that heart energy and pass it on to Hawaii, to the Hawaiian Islands. Yes, but not only. I'll give you a hint of what else there is in those areas. Hawaiian Islands, Cook Islands, Avarua, minor outlying islands of the United States, and Atuona. Okay. So have a wonderful IKC Balancathon event in Hawaii. I know there's 2 of them going on, so we will probably not be seeing them. That I know as well, but we're going to wish them a great experience. And I'm going to sign off and see you at 1 a.m.